The snow has melted, the battlefields are clear. Seems like a good day to go to war. Let's put Goliath against Goliath and have the Galaxy S10e square up against the iPhone XR. Two contestants are gonna enter, only one's gonna leave the winner. So before we jump into the verses, hope you guys have been enjoying the new direction of the channel. If you're liking it, be sure to subscribe and of course hit that little bell, get notified, new videos are coming at you. I am a bit of a display snob. It's not necessarily the resolution that matters, but the quality of the display is super important. That's your portal to the phone. It doesn't matter what the specs are, how many gigs of RAM. If you can't interact with your phone in a way that looks nice, there's very little reason for me to see getting a phone. So these are two very different stories. You've got a Liquid Retina, which is Apple marketing for LCD, and you've got Samsung's OLED panel, which obviously they've been doing very well. The best compliment that I can give towards Apple's display, when you think of their LCD panel versus their OLED on the XS and XS Max, is it's not as bad as you think. You gotta actually look at it and use it. You can appreciate it's a really good LCD panel. It's good till you compare it to what's probably the best display going. This is the same panel technology that's in the Galaxy S10 and the Galaxy S10 Plus. Samsung makes the best displays going, and it shines on the smaller screen on the XE. When you look at these phones side by side, you can see a clear difference. And you see the biggest difference, and obviously where you'd expect it, in black levels. If you're looking at something with a bunch of colors, maybe it's not that noticeable, but if something's got black in it, the OLED panel just looks so incredible. So when it comes to the notch, I don't mind it as long as it's there for a reason. Obviously on the XR, it's housing the TrueDepth sensor, which gives you Face ID. So it's there for a reason. I am in the camp though that I prefer the hole punch, and it might be because it's new. It's kind of haven't seen it for a whole generation of phones, but I like the way it looks. And in all fairness to Apple, there isn't really another phone that could go up against Samsung in the display category and even stand a chance. Two cameras versus one on the backs of these two phones. So they both have the same wide angle. What the S10e has is the ultra wide angle, which I think gives you a lot more versatility for cameras. So I feel like we're reaching kind of like peak camera here, and day to day, I didn't notice that much of a difference. The pictures looked good coming out of both phones. There were times though when I was appreciative to have that ultra wide sensor on the XE, whether I wanted to get all my kids together or take a picture of my whole family. It's nice to have that extra functionality and flexibility, even if you don't use it every day. It's gonna make for a more versatile camera experience. I take a lot of pictures in portrait, and I feel like the only limiting factor that I found with the XR was only being able to take portrait shots of people. Other than that, I didn't feel limited versus the XS Max that usually I use on a daily basis. On the front, the TrueDepth sensor is really impressive on the iPhone XR, and it gives you, I think, one of the best features of the phone, and that is Face ID, but the front cameras on both are kind of blah. So the processing is one of the areas where it really comes down to a personal preference. If you like the HDR look, you're gonna gravitate immediately to the iPhone. If you like sort of more poppy, vivid colors, then the Samsung is absolutely going to be your jam. And I kind of go back and forth into both camps. I think today though, sort of I'm more partial to the poppy colors that I'm getting out of the Samsung, but that's not to say they are better pictures. They just look better to my eye. So both of these cameras are used for more than just stills. Video is a big deal as well. So here's a sample coming out of both. The video looks equally good, shooting at 4K 60, but there is some difference with the processing and how you're gonna view the image. So here's samples coming out of both. You can let us know which one you prefer. So picking up an iPhone, the XR included, you know it's an iPhone. Apple's attention to detail, to how the phone feels in the hand, is incredible. There's not much out there that can touch sort of the visceral feel of holding an iPhone, and Samsung has come really close with the Galaxy S10 line of devices. I love the way both phones feel in the hand. On the hardware front though, Samsung packed pretty much everything into the S10e, including a headphone jack, which I know is a big deal for a lot of people. Also, things in here maybe you didn't think that you wanted, things like reverse wireless charging. It's nice to have, especially if you want to, charge up your brand new AirPods or Galaxy Buds. It's a great way to be able to charge up something else without bringing a battery pack. Perhaps one of the biggest advantages though of the XR is Face ID. I love Face ID. I love it for payments. I love it for unlocking my phone. I love it for the ease of use and security. It is awesome, and probably one of the biggest selling points for why people would pick up a XR over the XE. On the E side, there's no in-screen fingerprint reader here like you get on the big brothers. They moved it to the side. It actually feels really good, and I kind of wonder why Samsung ever even bothered in the past of putting it on the back. It makes sense on the side. It's quick on the side, and I find myself not even missing the in-screen one on the 10 and the 10 Plus. I hit my phones pretty hard. I also like my brightness a little bit brighter. So battery life is a big deal for me. I charge my phones at night, so I want to get through a full day. I had better battery life on the S10e than I did on the XR with exactly the same usage, and it was about 10%-ish depending on the day. So if battery life is a big deal for you, you definitely may want to consider the XE over the XR, or, just turn your brightness down and close some apps. All right, so before I get to the winner, these are both really good phones, and people are picking them up for obvious reasons. So on the XE, obviously I like the extra flexibility I have with that second sensor. On the XR, I forgot how much I like Face ID. And you think about how often you unlock your phone on an hourly or a daily basis. The fact that it's unlocking every time easily and securely, I can't overstate the importance of that. And these verses come down to what they always come down to: your preference on iOS versus Android. Assuming you don't have an OS allegiance, if both of these phones are on the table, I'm gonna pick up the Galaxy S10e. Not only am I getting better value for the dollar, I'm getting better cameras and better battery life. And for me, that's worth the money.